you all on homeopathy. Today is a very special session for all of us because it marks the last session of 2024 on musing, and we are excited to share some good news, some new beginning that we are going to be sharing today with all of you. Before we move on to today's session, can I request Dr. Mansi to please share the screen and I can just brief you through the upcoming modules that are coming up on us for 2025, and you can just have a look, and if you all want you all can register. The courses are live. Can you please share the screen? So we have planned to continue with our ABC of Remedy series. I am sure all of you might, if you all are new, you all might not be aware. We started the ABC of Remedy series this year, where we discuss one remedy every month in detail. We have this is the 10th episode of this ABC of Remedy series. In case you want to go through the previous episode, is there on our YouTube channel. You can always go and visit. We'll share the link in the chat. Yeah. So, for our upcoming 2025, we have the very first course with Dr. Ajit Kulkarni, sir. Sir will be teaching us some advanced psychological modules and how to integrate it into homeopathic practice. We'll be starting from January every Saturday, and it will be a 4-session course with sir. The registrations are open for the same. The next course is with Dr. Shekhar Algundi, sir. It is on how to get your patient talking to solve the hurdles in case taking. For this also we have 4 sessions with sir. It will be starting from 29th of January. The early bird will end real soon, so you can grab the offer and you can register for the same. We have a very interesting course that we've curated, which is a 12-session course. It is divided into 2 parts, which is full spectrum pediatric. The first part will be with Dr. Gajanan Dhanipkar, sir, and sir will be teaching us the main case taking, the acutes in pediatrics and chronic cases in pediatrics. And apart from that, the part 2 will include a total 9 session, and we have varied speakers who are experts in their field, and you can learn pediatric from every aspect. So do register for the same. I'm sure it will be a beneficial course for all of you. In case of any questions or queries, you can always write to us, or you can just follow us or email us, and we'll be happy to help you. So I think without further ado, we can get started with today's session. I'll just
Okay, so thank you, Taskin and Mansi, for this. And as Taskin mentioned, it's a special session, um, last session of this year, but coming up with lot of new exciting opportunities, sessions, learning, and lot of courses in the coming year, and with some advanced development. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited to start today's session. So as we know, we are going to study this remedy, Lac Can, okay, in detail from all its perspectives. So the idea of ABC remedies is that we share the knowledge and with our cases all the aspects of this remedy. and how do we understand the whole essence of the remedy. Okay, so let's start today with the case. Okay, I'll start. So this is a case of a 32-year female. Okay, she came up with mainly her complaints were of irregular menses. She had amenorrhea since last 6 months and the allergic rhinitis complaint. And she had a history of postpartum depression. So her menses are irregular. Since last 6 months, she was not getting periods at all. She had a lot of white discharge though, and lot of heaviness and bloating because of this that she was feeling. Initially, she was a diagnosed case of PCOS, but during her pregnancy and delivery time, she had taken a lot of medicine, and that with IVF and IUI, she was successfully had some two pregnancies. But this complaint has started coming again of the irregular menses. And there are a lot of mood changes because of it, and a lot of anger and irritability is something that she is feeling. And she gets this right breast pain during menses. Initially, when she used to have, she has that, and then now in the in a time when she's about her periods, are nearing that time, she starts getting her um, menses very very heavy. Then another complaint of this allergic rhinitis. So she had a lot of sneezing, almost 20 to 25 sneezes within 5 minutes. She will have that. Lot of dust allergy, and immediately she will have this complaint. So much so that the breathing also becomes a problem. Okay, so lying down aggravate her. So while sleeping, she's unable to breathe, and she feel a lot of choking up over there. And she's using this nasal drop since many years for that. And it's kind of genetic also, because she says that my mother also had it, and I'm also getting it now. Even if some, like while cooking, that kind of get aggravated, and she feels very very uncomfortable and irritated with it. And I'm so much into myself at that time that I forget everything. What do I do? I don't have generally a cough, but breathlessness is too much. That I'm unable to take care of my kid. And then it is aggravated in the AC. Okay, both the nostrils, they will stop working. And when I use the drops, then only it is clear. So she said that and it is mainly started more after the my last delivery. So she had twins, and she did a lot of because of PCA, she was unable to conceive. So a lot of IUIs and IVF were done, and so her immunity was also affected with it after that delivery. And so much of work exertion and a lot of things were there, so that is how she connects it to it, that is happening like that. And because of all this thing, I'm getting very very irritated, that I just don't want to answer people. I'm so much into me, I'm unable to breathe, and I'm kind of choking. That breathlessness is so much that I kind of feel this choking a lot. And there is, my nose is also like completely blocked, right? So that way it kind of irritated me. So what is your experience to be in this situation? So she said, I used to feel very bad at that time, that my I had delivered a child. I was all alone who was doing these things. I was kind of at my mother's place, but my mother, rather than giving looking after me or my kid, she was taking care of my brother and my younger sister, and not me. And she was doing this since childhood. And I'm feeling that I didn't get what that love, or that that connection which I was lacking, was needing from my mother, and I always lacked that. In fact, she used to make me doing things which which I didn't want to. And they, even if I did something, they didn't understand me at all. I was so much dependent on my mother for everything at that time and in my childhood. But she didn't give me that attention. And I felt very lonely. And I also used to feel very, very angry at that time. So from this kind of a experience, she could connect, immediately went into something which was kind of a very sensitive issue for her, right? The whole experience, it's a kind of a series of the same experience which is coming again and again. And she could immediately connect it to this situation. And she said, I feel very angry. I wanted to speak it out and say things and, tell them. But then I couldn't do it because I was at my mother's place and I was dependent on her. She was not doing it, but I couldn't say anything. And after that, the C-section, I got more irritated and angry and, like that. And then I understood that I am something, maybe an kind of, postpartum depression or something. And then that time also I consulted some doctor and the help was taken. And that was much better at that time. But then now it is again, starting this. So we asked her about this postpartum depression. So she said, I used to have suicidal thoughts. Then I used to get some fits also, like kind of a convulsive episodes that I also had. Then people used to say, I have everything good, I have a good husband, my kids, car, house, everything. But I was lacking something. What was that lacking? That was a human touch, the love that I was looking for. I needed to speak out. I needed to vent out, but nobody was there for me. What is that human touch mean to her? To speak to someone, to be with someone, need to laugh. It was kind of a hollow space for me. And I was nobody. Like my husband also was, not there. He used to work very late, and he was unable to give me time. Plus, my husband was very dominating. So, he didn't allow me to talk to my old friends. And since the marriage, that was the thing. And I was very, very angry on him and wanted to scream him, tell him everything that what is he doing is not right. But I couldn't do that. Plus, at the same time, my mother also didn't understand me. She told me that when I, told her these things, she said, "Oh, don't leave the house, because you have husband, kids, so what society will say? Who will take care of you like that?" And I was also scared that what I will do, after that if I leave the house and all. So I was so much dependent on husband, but he didn't understand me. He didn't give me that love. And today I'm in this situation that I am I have nobody to talk to. I lack that love, that human touch and everything. I used to have suicidal thoughts and I wanted to run away from there, but I couldn't. I thought nobody understood me, nobody, care for me. It was such a difficult experience, and I was very serious at time. I used to cry a lot. I was it was these things were affecting me a lot. So we asked her, okay, what was your experience at that time, to be in this whole scenario and situation? She said, I was very scared. I was not happy and I was not loved. And I was too much dominated by all these things and my husband a lot. I couldn't talk openly. And maybe this happened because, what happened with me in childhood also. I was not allowed to speak much. So I was not able to kind of speak out about this whole situation. So from that experience thing, she went into something which happened in the childhood, which had an impact on her. So she said, okay, my father was very strict. So he said, girls are not allowed to do this. Girls should not behave like this. They should not make noise while talking. And, all these restrictions were there. And I used to feel very angry on him, but I never expressed. Plus, there was some discrimination at home also happened. Like my mother and father, they used to give more attention with my brother only, mainly. They used to love him more than it, and I hated it. the whole situation, but I couldn't say. I also feel that I'm much better than my husband and I have a lot of qualities in my me than my brother and my husband. But I still, treated by them like an inferior. I'm still not counted. If even if I have to give any opinion or any kind of a suggestion, they don't count me as equal as I'm a family member. Hmm? I want that position. And because it is not happening, I feel very angry and kind of a hatred toward them. But again, I can't show that anger and hatred because maybe I cannot speak that how badly they treated me, with all these things. Plus, before my parents and, in my family and now my husband. So we are okay. Describe this experience little bit. He said, it is as if I don't exist at all. It's like a burden on them. I was so spoken harshly. They use a lot of abusing language, which was so harsh. And I felt that you hit me rather than giving me these kind of words. Hmm? And then we asked you, who gets this kind of a treatment? You have so much of the whole scenario what she described. Is it like a step kid, who don't get the good kind of a treatment. Their parents don't connect with them. They don't have any love for them. And it's like I'm the third or the fourth priority for them. Then somebody who doesn't have a voice, they don't have any demands, they don't have any say in anything. That was like my condition. And what else? She said, then because all these things were there, and initially also I was on the healthier side. And then with I somehow after my started getting my periods, that time I started getting my weight also started increasing. Then it was sometime it was normal, by my mother should have looked into this matter. She did not bother to look at me. And then I had PCS. I didn't get menses properly. I was unable to conceive, and all these things they happened with. And and that is how I was very conscious the way I used to look. I used to I didn't have a good body. My I used to look ugly, and no one wants to have a friendship with me at that time. Those were the thoughts at the teenager times. Then her fears, she said, I'm very connected with my daughter. Anything happens to her, I'm like very, very anxious about that. And to lose her is the biggest fear of, my life. Then I have fear of falling, fear of snakes. At times see, snakes in my dreams also. And I have this special fear of dogs. So it's kind of at a very great intensity that even if they kind of start barking, I can see anger in their eyes and I really feel scared. And I somehow, with no rhyme and reason, I feel they will come, they'll attack me, they'll pounce on me, and I'm kind of very, very scared to even look at them, to be around them. And otherwise, I don't like any animals. They are very messy, so I don't even allow my kids also to kind of, touch them. Family is very important for me. What I am because of them, it's like it's kind of a support for me that my family is there for me. It's like a body part. Nobody can stay without the hands or legs or even hair. So it's like one part of me. It's very important. I cry, I don't get attention. Don't feel respected. I feel hurt. But family is very important for me. Appreciation matters a lot to me. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to kind of, say something good. But if I don't get, I feel very, very bad about it. I'm cleanliness freak. So plus my allergic issues, but I can't tolerate dust at all. I feel angry. I need to like keep cleaning things, and also for my kids, I keep doing that. We spoke about the anger, like it's very bad. It's kind of very violent anger. I can even break a glass or something. And that kind of a feeling of to have that connection with my mother and to find this solace I never got. And that is something which stayed in me and makes me more angry and angry. My younger sister was given more attention, and that kind of, things affect me. My sister gets a call every day, and I get a call only once once a month. So she's just taking thyroid medicine in the past. Family history, they had dust allergies in the family, craving for chocolate and watermelon. So this was the whole case. And she had UIs and two IVF done. And she got pregnant after that. And so the prescription here, we'll see how it goes, right? We are studying this remedy, but if we have to understand, how do we understand the remedy? I hope my screen is visible. Yes, okay. Oh, I was worried. Okay, so what do we see in this case? Okay, so how do we understand? Okay, so first she spoke about her menses, so hormonal things, right? So hormonal things are very, very important as a remedy also in this particular case. Second thing she told about this dust allergies. But what did we see in her, personality, in her whole nature? We saw there was a lot of comparison, right? There was a comparison between the brother and the sister, and the how she was not treated in a good way, right? That was her whole focus. I was not given something which others were given, right? So these were the issues of the animal kingdom that we saw, right? Then if we have to understand what is the sub kingdom in this. So what were the issue? There were themes of group, right? She was totally dependent on the family. She wanted to be part of that family. Lot of, dependency on the mother for the kind of nourishment, the love and the care that she wanted, right? But there were issues of hierarchy that we seen that, somebody who was more dominating, somebody who was given more attention. So the hierarchy issues were there, right? The motherly instinct was so prominent with her own mother and with her own children also. Then it had nitrum line issues, right? But it was not plain just the dependency. There were a lot of other issues related to hierarchy and animal issues were there. And then we saw a lot of suppressed anger and rage. So there was dependency, some domination was there, but also somebody having kind of a, the problem with this domination, right? And that kind of domination aggravates them, but they're unable to speak it out because of their dependency on them. Their dependency for what? Dependency for everything, for love, for money, for the social status, to have the stability in the relationship. Yeah. And we saw a lot of desire for this appreciation. We saw fear of falling, fear of snakes. So all this, had lot of connection with the remedy that we gave her was the Lac Canium. And considering her hormonal issues and at the level of her mental complaints that we saw, 1M was given to her, and she really did much better. We followed her up with almost 1 year, and she was almost 80 to 90% better. Not only her complaints in terms of allergy, but also in terms of her menses, her mood, her sleep. It improved gradually. Her sprays, which she was using, was completely, stopped. Her menses became regular. She was happy as a person. Her sleep improved, and that kind of really helped, to be happy in her own life. The breathlessness also, which she used to have, the suffocative attack, that kind of, felt much better. And yeah, so these anger pangs or frustration and all of that is also reduced a lot. And she did much, much better over a period of year. Hmm? And then she was able to lose, so she was obese because of the PCOS also. So she was able to reduce the weight, her metabolism also improved. And this remedy really, helped her in her complaints. Yeah, so let's understand about this remedy a little bit more. So I'll invite Preeti for that.
Mm, yeah. So, brilliant case and very good follow-ups. I witnessed the improvement in this patient myself, so I can vouch for that. Before I really kind of explain the themes of Lacan and this candidate group in general, I wanted to take a few minutes, steal a few minutes to kind of showcase, the different resources we have and already material that is available at musings which you could all use to study these groups and have a very thorough step-by-step understanding of all of this. So I'm sharing my screen very quickly, and just to kind of since this is the very last session for us for this year, I thought this will be a good opportunity to do this. So we just completed a full 1 year in-depth animal module. We covered all the subgroups, including Canidae, through the year. There are like sessions, which is, more than 40 sessions or something like that. So you should, try and take advantage of that. Similarly, every month we do these ABC remedies. These are free of charge. We do monthly musing sessions, which is again, at no cost. We do it on Saturdays. And then through the year, we had so many different speakers and such varied topics for just students who have passed out, who are starting their practice, to give them a classroom to clinic experience, give them the confidence. For students as well as senior practitioners who are, used to practicing classical homeopathy, but wanted to learn, these advanced methods in homeopathy, the sensation method or the PEM method, or the, latest advancements like superclass, chakra, everything, all these contemporary methods. We did recently just wrapped up our third version of basic course, and then we did so many other clinical courses. We had rheumatism covered by Dr. Borkar, autoimmune disorders covered by Dr. Dinesh Chauhan. We had cancer covered by Dr. Ajit Kulkarni, autism covered by Dr. Aradhna, cardiovascular diseases. I mean, we did so many things. And then we also did, this Muse with Masters, where we bring very, very senior teachers, masters, and have a candid conversations and get your questions answered. So all of these resources are available. Just again, we are, a global community. We are not an academy, unlike a traditional homeopathic school or organization. This is just a loving space, a group of homeopaths who come together, muse homeopathy, experiment homeopathy, share our ideas, our experiences in a thought-provoking, approachable, fun, and creative way. So we break the barriers of teacher and student. We are all together on one platform. And no idea, no method is wrong. And we are happy to learn and understand from each other. So with the new year coming, all of these resources that I shared, I mean, that was just the last year. We finished more than 4 years now of musings. I am also happy to share that our new website is up and running. So you can find all of these resources. I'm continuing to share my screen on our website. It's www.healingharmony.in musings. And if you go to musings, you will find all our free lectures, events, all our teachers, our upcoming course. uh, we are proud to say our these 4 modules: mammals, mollusk, in-depth plant, and in-depth animal module. Hundreds of homeopaths have taken advantage of that. They vouch for these courses. So all of this is available at your fingertips. So uh, all these resources are out here for you to look at and take advantage of. So I'm very, very happy that our website is out and about. This is big news for us. And the second big news that I also wanted to share with you is that our new space for musings is up and running. So we invite all of you to come learn with Prajakta and me. You can sit in person, you can see live cases. If you're a group of homeopaths who have a specific, need, we can customize it. We can meet in person. We plan to meet at least once a month, just to muse together. So this is a little glimpse of the new space that Prajakta and I, along with the entire team, Taskeen, Mansi, Asmita, Catherine, we have created. And we look forward to seeing all of you in person. So finally, please continue to join us. Taskeen already shared these new courses that we have in 2025. And it's really a lot of thought and energy goes in putting all of this together, right? Mansi wanted to also say a few words here. I will hand it over to you, but just take pediatrics as an example. We're going to have an allopathic pediatrician coming, explaining us the basics of pediatrics, what as homeopaths we should be aware of. We have Dr. Dhanivkar sir, who's a master clinician. He's going to kind of have 3-part series. And then we will have not just left brain, not just therapeutics, not just, how to manage fevers and pathological cases of pediatrics, but also, behavioral disorders, how to do better parenting, how to, help our patients who are going through the teenage phase, how to use contemporary methods, what is the meaning of PEM and how we can apply that in pediatric cases. So we're going to do all of that. And thank you for, I'm talking about pediatrics and, like children who scribble on the walls. We have somebody scribbling on my screen. But yeah, so these are some of the upcoming things and resources that are all available to you. And as we wrap up 2024 and begin 2025, I wanted to take a moment to share this. Mansi, I don't know if you wanted to say something.
As we have already discussed about this, but I really want to acknowledge all our teachers, and I really want to tell you that these courses will really bring a good learning and a very helpful experience and insightful journey in this 2025.
Thank you, Mansi. So this is just again, our contact details. We welcome you to, look at all of this. And if you have any questions, reach out to Asmita, Catherine, and the entire team who can support you if you have any questions. So yeah, very, very exciting times here at Musings. I'm just looking at who all do we have here. I don't know if there's anybody who'd like to say a word or two about their experience with musings or, what has touched them the most, any specific cause or any specific item. I see some known, some unknown people. Dr. Beena, I don't know if you would like to say something.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I have joined a course that is basic course, and in my experience, I have learned many new things in that course, like chakras and many other things. Your experiences, all mm, doctors' experiences, they gave us very beautifully. S- Some doubt were there, they also cleared that very efficiently.
Thank you, Sachin, for sharing. And you will have all the recordings, yeah, available. So if you have any doubts in future too, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are, again, as I said, it's not a teacher-student relationship. It's a community. Don't hesitate to reach out via email, WhatsApp, pick up the phone, and we are happy to always help you.
Yes, ma'am. I already said before that we have to listen to the session again and again so that we can
Yes.
understand that fully.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
like newcomers, and we some things are there which we don't understand one time, we can say.
Yeah, we all of us have to become like cows. You know how cows ruminate? You have to chew,
Yeah.
chew, then they put it in, then bring it back up, and then again assimilate it and chew it, right? So I absolutely agree, Sachin. You need to have these recordings. You need to listen to them, and if there's anything, please come back. I see on the chat there is Marija, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yes, the cancer management. Cancer management, I'm not sure if we have the recordings, but for autoimmune and cardiovascular diseases, we definitely do have. Dr. Ajit Kulkarni generally prefers to teach live. He believes sternly that anything that's kind of recorded, it just doesn't give that level of understanding. So because of his preference, his courses are generally only available live, and they're not available for kind of seeing the recordings. But yes, autoimmune and cardiovascular is available.
Thank you.
And
We
yeah, you
have
were saying?
Naila on the chat who has shared her experience on musing. She says, I am Naila from UK. I have attended my first musing course on PM. Wonderful course covering the basics to making it understandable and practically available information. Thank you, Naila, for sharing. We have Antenna who's sharing. I'm Antenna, a homeopath here in London, UK. I've found all the wonderful webinars on plant remedies, autism throughout the year. All wonderful. All music knowledge is amazing, and I'm very grateful learning from you all. Thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, I think it's Athena and not antenna. All right, wonderful. And then just to clarify, I think Vera is saying that cancer recordings. So for those who attend live, they have those recordings for a few months. But for new students who have not attended live, those recordings are not available based on Dr. Ajit's request. So just wanted to clarify that. Yeah. So Dr. Ajit is a master teacher, yeah. So he's going to be talking about psychological disorders in January. And again, he's only those who are going to be attending live will have access to it. So, this is something that none of you should miss out. So please do register for it. Taskeen or Mansi, if you can put the links of these upcoming courses on the chat, that will be very helpful. Okay, then if there is if there isn't anything else anybody wanted to share, I wanted to then go back to our Lac Can themes. Okay. So from Dr. Prajakta's case and the discussions that she said and her analysis that she brought, she clearly came, I mean, her thought process, if you could follow, she said that, this looks like an animal remedy. And within the animal realm, she said, started, her system method, her contemporary side, her concept side of the brain, started thinking that within the animal kingdom, what group of remedies can this be? It's like a navigation tool, okay? So we're going to narrow down our search. Because if we directly start going to the symptoms and take broad symptoms and put it on the repertory, we're going to get the same polycrest remedies which will come. The first 10 to 20 remedies is going to be very, very broad spectrum, and it can be very confusing at times. Unless you take very specific, peculiar rubrics, generic rubrics will take us to the same set of polycrest remedies in most of the cases. So what we start doing is, when we see a case, we start narrowing down our search using our concept mind, brain. So she said this is an animal kingdom, and within the animal kingdom, this patient has some sort of an, natrum line type of an issue. Yeah, not a mineral remedy, but the issues of the infancy stage, issue of love, issue of care, issue of nutrition, etc. So she narrowed down her search to, probably this looks like a mammal. And within the mammal, there are basically two categories. There are prey mammals and there are predator mammals. So this doesn't look like a prey mammal. Prey mammal qualities like a cow, like a goat, like a sheep. like an elephant. They have completely different qualities, but there is hierarchy. There is me versus you. There is one-upmanship. There needs to be who is the boss, who is the dominator, who is the persecutor versus who is getting dominated. Yeah. So there is a dynamic of the predator mammal. So she came down, she narrowed down her search like this. For those of you who have followed the PM chart, you will also know that within the animal kingdom, you can narrow down your search by clearly identifying whether this is a vertebrate animal or an invertebrate animal. Invertebrate animals are like mollusks, spiders, insects. They have a completely different sense of being. Um, they are much less developed animals. In general, they will be more crass, they'll be more materialistic, they'll be more self-centered, they will be more panicky. Their enemy is not usually very defined, so they think everything world in general is threatening. So they get easily scared, they get easily they easily start feeling vulnerable, and they feel, oh, I'm going to be, this is going to affect me, this is going to affect me, this is going to attack me. So their enemy is not really defined. In the vertebrates, there are mammals, there are reptiles, there are birds. These are the major groups. Here, the enemy is very well defined. So there is one persecutor, there is one person with whom I need to protect myself, or fight back, or whatever it is. So there is one person. The enemy is very, very clearly defined. Okay. And then, of course, there are other qualities that, there will be idea of group, there will be idea of I'm taking care of somebody, there will be idea of spirituality, all of that, that is a little bit more. Okay. So when we are talking about Lac Canium, we come to the animal kingdom, we identify this is a vertebrate animal, this is a land-dwelling animal. There are qualities of, infancy and early childhood, and then we come to the predator mammal. So we come to mammals and we come to predator mammals. Now, in the predator mammals, there are two main groups that we need to classify and differentiate. One is the canid group, that is the dog family, and one is the felid group, which is the cat family. Okay, they look very similar. Okay, they are similar yet very different. They are both predator animals. Okay, in both these groups, we have domesticated one animal. Okay, so we have a domesticated dog and we have a domesticated cat. But those who have pets, those who are pet lovers, those who have had a dog or those who have had a cat, you can experience that they are so very different, right? In the canids, the main idea is that there is competition and there is hierarchy. Who is the alpha dog? Who is the beta dog? Etc. etc. So that's the main area, main dynamic. There is jealousy, there is competition, there is, who's at the top and who's at the bottom. The main idea in the felids, which is the cat family, is not about, there is more self-confidence. There is more, the idea is that I'm already the queen, I'm already the boss, but my main idea is how independent I am, how free I am. That's the crux of the case will be around that idea. Most canids, except a few, for example, dogs, they live in a pack, right? Wolves, they live in a pack. Except for a few, for example, the fox, most of them live in a group. Okay. The cat family, most of them, except some big cats like lions, who has a tribe, most of them are solitary. They like their peace. They like their space. Space is very important to them. This is my space. It's extremely important to them. They don't like big groups and big families. In the canids, the main idea is that I need to please the group. Because I'm in a group, I need to please the group so that they don't remove me from the group. I need the group. I need the group for my safety, for my security, for the love. I'm dependent on the group too much. So there is a sense of neediness in them. In the cat family, you don't see that. You don't see this neediness. Even in the lions who like the group, they will not be so needy. Even in a domesticated cat who needs the master, right? The domesticated cat at the home, she needs to be fed, she needs to be pampered. However, she will not be needy. She will still behave like a queen and you need to pamper me. But the dog needs to get pampered. He needs the master to love him. He needs the master to acknowledge him, right? And this difference basically stems down from this delusion that I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I'm disgusting, I'm not wanted, I'm not included. It's a very low self-esteem, neediness, coming from this idea. And the main crux in the cat family is that I am independent, I'm beautiful, I'm majestic, there is a higher self-esteem, and hence they are less, more demanding. They are high maintenance. So this is the main idea. So, even if you come to mammals and if you think this predator mammal, this identification or differentiation is very important if you are thinking from a concept perspective. Okay, so this is a very interesting thing that I found on the social media. How dogs think you love me, you pet me, you feed me, you must be God, you're everything for me. Yeah, but how cats think, you love me, you pet me, you feed me, that means I must be the one. This is the difference in the attitude and the character and the soul of these two groups of remedies. Okay. So in the Canidae group, okay, once you see that this is a mammal, this is a predator, there is the idea of group, there's the idea of hierarchy, there's the idea of competition. This is a canid, there's more neediness, etc., etc. Then you come to the Canidae group. Okay. In the Canidae, these are the remedies we have. So we have the domesticated dog. In the dogs, we have 3 remedies. We have Lac Can, lysine, and excrementum caninum. Yeah, milk of the bitch. Lysine is basically the rabid dog, and excrementum caninum is from the stool of the dog. Okay, then we have a wolf remedy, Lac lupinum. We have 2 remedies from the fox, Sanguis vulpis and Pulmo vulpis. Okay. And then jackal, we have Canis mesomilis, and coyote, we have Canis latrans. Okay. We focus on Lac Can today. Now, the main idea in the canids is the idea that they are pack animals. Okay. Except the fox, which is solitary. So, one exception. So the idea of group is very strong. Togetherness, support, group strength is very important. Another idea in the canids is that they are relatively smaller animals, right? Even a wolf is not huge an animal. It's not like a big cat or like an elephant or things like that. Yeah. So it's a relatively small sized animal. Hence, this pack becomes even more important for their survival, so from being attacked and also from the perspective of hunting. Okay. So they live in pack and that pack protects them from a survival perspective. The focus of any canid individual, okay, is based on the premise that I'm happy and safe and secure when I'm protected and part of the group. That's the main idea. Now, in a domesticated dog like Lac Can, I am dependent on the group for love, for care, and fulfilling all my demands, related to food and security from the group, which is more like natrum theme, more like infancy stage of development. In jackals and wild dogs and foxes, there is also, the idea of how different I am, how better I can do, how better strategies I can develop. So there is ideas also of wanting to be different, wanting to be better. So it's more like Rofi type of a development. Okay. And in wolves, for example, the idea is that I have to lead, I have to strategize, I have to be the head of the family. Okay. I may not be the king of the jungle, but I'm definitely, the advisor of the king, somebody who's higher up, much more developed, much more independent, much less neediness. You will not see that neediness in them. Okay, then it's wolf. That is kind of almost like row 6 kind of a developmental stage. And this idea in each of these different canid groups also, the idea is, in the group also there is a very, very strict hierarchy. So it's very important who's going to be the alpha, who's going to be the beta, who's going to be at the end of the pack. The roles are very defined. So strict hierarchy, strict social hierarchy is a very, very important thing. We saw that in Prajakta's case also in some way. Okay. So now the domestic dog, it's a psychotic remedy. Okay. It's an animal that has been controlled. This is an animal which has been civilized. We have so many different types of breeds. Yeah, crossbreeding has happened so much. So in a way, the basic animal instinct, the basic desires, the basic nature of this animal has been suppressed. Okay, the wild dog and the domesticated dog have completely different nature. So the main idea, if you read all our Materia Medicas from the source book, you will see the main key idea in Lacan is about suppressed anger. There is a total suppression of their aggression because they have to be dependent on the master. So complete suppression of aggression, complete suppression of anger, complete suppression of their basic animal instincts. Yeah. And this becomes like a pent up anger, and any opportunity they will just blast. So this is a very, very key theme of Lacan. And this total dependence, as I said previously, is for food, for affection, for shelter. So their whole life depends upon how I can keep this master happy so that I'm not kicked out of the house, I'm not kicked out of the group. Yeah. The animal side, when these cases come to you, they can be very sweet, they can be very nice, they'll bring you gifts, and they will be very nice. But if you trigger them, if you come in their way, etc., they can be quite malicious, they can be very lascivious, passionate. I mean, there is an animal side in them which very often will not come out up front, because it's very, very suppressed, it's very, very also hidden. Okay. To keep everyone happy, they must keep their feelings and emotions, as I said, inhibited, suppressed. And that causes a lot of irritation, violent anger, and bursts of violent anger. The need for approval brings with it a strong feeling of wanting to be appreciated, as a consequence of which they're tremendously fearful of being neglected or forsaken. Yeah, so if you see delusion, forsaken, neglected, you will see Lacan as very, very strong remedy there. People pleasing. Yeah, this is again, I feel inferior, I am less confident, I'm not good enough, I don't want to be kicked out, I have 4 seconds, so I all the time try to please. They do they go out of their way to please others, to make sure they take care of other people. They will all the time, oftentimes your patients will say things like, I take care of the entire family, I look after their needs, I put them before myself, and in the end nobody's looking after me, they don't treat me well, I'm just alone. So their idea is that I do so much for others, but I don't get anything in return, I feel rejected, I feel left out. Yeah, very, I am left out, I'm kicked out, I'm like a dog, who's just being kicked around everywhere. So this idea of people pleasing and feeling forsaken is very, very important in this. No matter what I do, is not going to be enough. Then the idea is, who is the bigger dog, who is the stronger dog? This is my territory, this is your territory, correct? So comparison, competition, and also marking your territory. One dog from one street cannot go to the dog of the another street. They cannot go on the other street, isn't it? They mark their territories. Sometimes you see some dogs start barking on the cars also. They're running behind the cars that come. Why they are running behind? Because some dog is marked the territory by peeing on the tires of those cars, right? So you cannot um, this is very important for them. Comparison, jealousy, territory, very, very important for them. Very interesting quote I read. Yeah, guys always call as soon as another man is interested. Yeah, the Carrie Bradshaw, she's also a character in the Sex and the City, or if you've read the books also. So what she's written is, guys always call as soon as another man is interested. They are like dogs. They never notice if you change your hair, but they can sense when there's another guy sniffing around in their territory. Yeah, very interesting. Another, Another item is, barking dogs seldom bite. So there's a lot of barking and fighting and marking for the territory. But in the end, there's very little action. Yeah, in the end, they would wag their tail and go away. So this is also very interesting. There's a lot of suppressed anger. There's a lot of, marking the territory, jealousy, competition. They'll fight, they will curse, they'll be abusive, etc. But in the end, they will not do any action. In the end, they are not going to leave the master and go away. In the end, the female is going to find it very difficult to leave that abusive husband or that abusive mother. So there's a lot of talk, very little action. Yeah, they are very fearful and scared of leaving that comfort, leaving that stability of the house, and that's why Dr. Sankaran has put Lacan in super class 4. Yeah, the idea is that I don't want to leave my comfort place. I don't want to leave my status quo, and I will do anything in my capability to make sure that status quo doesn't change. My comfort doesn't change. Yeah, so that is why super class 4. Then this, you'll see this in the rubrics. They're very in general, mammals have this idea of self-criticism, that I'm dirty, delusion of being dirty, very, very important for all the mammals. But in the dogs, in Lacan, it is at another level. They've always find something that's not good in them. So I'm not good enough. I don't know anything. Others are better than me. I am lower than others. I do not have self-confidence. My skin is not good. I am ugly, etc., etc. So this is very, very important. Self-disgust. And this will be plus 10 marks. It will be at the highest of intensity in remedy like excrementum caninum. They actually feel like shit. So this self-loathing, self-disgust is, of course, there in Lacan, but my God, it's at another level for experimentum canine. Okay. Then some interesting rubrics. So if you look at FATA, there's a very specific rubric. They crave for condiments. Okay. There's a lot of this, they like tasty food. They like salty food. Okay. So this is very important from a craving or physical general perspective. Also very interesting is the idea of that there is a fear of falling downstairs, so like borax is a fear of downward motion, which is there in Lacan. I did not know this, honestly, if I have to be very honest. So when I started studying Lacan in a little bit more detail, I discovered this. We spoke a lot about, self-loathing and dirty, etc., thinking himself too little, all of that, you see. So it's not just concept, Fatak is already put there over there. And then, of course, in mammals in general, lactation, mamma issues, milk, which is problems in the lactation, is all present. You know what? In a very important clinical tip, and I've learned this from Dr. Gandhi, and now it's become like a confirmatory symptom. We generally ask all our patients where we are thinking of mammals. So in the end, we will say, if it's especially a female patient, that do you have heaviness in your breast before menses? Is there any any connection to the menses and the breast? We generally ask this. It's a very nice clinical confirmation for mammals and especially Lacan. Okay. Another idea is about loyalty and friendship. Yeah, everybody knows this. I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about it, but they're the most loyal beings. For those who have not seen the movie Hachiko, it's I must encourage all of you to go and watch this movie. It's based on real, it's based on reality. It actually happened. There was this dog, and once he found his master, he accompanied his master every day to the railway station. Okay, every day he continued to do that. Every day he would leave the house with his master, go to the railway station, come back home alone. And even after his master died, he continued to do that. He continued to make this journey even after the master died for 9 years. Yeah, so they are the symbol of faithfulness. They are the symbol of loyalty and friendship. So, issues where there is marital unfaithfulness, infidelity, etc. That could be a very sensitive issue. Faithfulness, fidelity, all of this could be good themes in your case for Lac Canium. And if you just read, Fatak, and if you read Massimo, you will see there's a very, very strong, and it's come out in the proving also, connection with snakes. Yeah, so there could be fear of snakes, there could be dreams of snakes, there could be disgust with snakes. Snakes and other animals, but snakes in particular, there's a lot of idea about snakes. Yeah, and you see that in a lot of mammals, but in Lacan peculiarly. Yeah, if you see some of these dreams, dreams of dogs, dreams of snakes pursued by, horrid dreams of snakes, horrid dreams of vermin. Yeah, so it's very interesting to see that. Then another peculiar, okay, this is something that I didn't know when I passed out of my college, but when I started studying and with clinical cases, very, very important. And it's mentioned in so many source books that the symptoms keep changing sides from one side to another, and they will keep shifting or keep moving. It could be the tonsils, it could be the diphtheria, it could be the effects in the mammae. But shifting from one side to another is again a very, very important peculiar symptom. Even the moods changing from one side to another is so interesting. There's a very interesting case in Lippe. He cured, a patient who had been completely impotent. Okay, he was 40 years old. There was no discharge of semen during coition. For 10 years, this patient is suffering. He was cured by a single dose of Lac Canium. And what was the main indication? Because he had extremely severe attacks of diphtheria, which would shift from side to side. And only on that indication, this patient suffering from impotency for 10 years was cured by one dose. So this is a very, very important symptom. So that is from a peculiarity. Now, from a PM perspective, again, the need for love, care, affection, the issue of, I am not good enough, I need to be better, I need to be looking beautiful. My choice is not heard of, I want to do this, but somebody else is telling me not to do this. All of this gives us an idea of the nutrition line of infancy, early childhood, etc. So this is important. If you look at the latest idea of superclass, I already told you, Lac Canium belongs. In fact, it's like a picture perfect for superclass 4 from the animal kingdom. The main idea is that my master is my security, my stability, my everything, and I'm going to do anything, no matter what. I'll bend my back, bend over backwards. I will do anything for my master to make sure my place of comfort is not, doesn't go. I will do anything in the world for this stability. So this is super class 4. Uh, and that's all I had from Lac Canium perspective. I just wanted to see if there are any questions, any comments, any feedback. Anybody would like to share their experience of Lac Canium? Actually, the other day on Musings, when this course was announced, this lecture was announced, somebody shared their understanding of Lac Canium in detail. I'm trying to see on the WhatsApp. It was very interesting, actually. But I don't know if anybody would like to say anything right now before we end. Yeah, I think this was some Dr. Hussain Ashgar, highly sensitive to touch, especially sexual organs. Excited from touch, pressure, or friction. Oversensitive, cannot touch one part of the body to other, must keep fingers apart. Symptoms alternating sides. Keynote is changeability of sides from right to left and back again or reverse. Craving for milk but aversion to liquids. Very interesting what he has shared, Dr. Hussain. Anybody else here? All right. If no, then I just wanted to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas for those who are celebrating Christmas. We will now go into a quiet phase. I hope all of you kind of get some break, some time with your friends and family, rest, recharge, rejuvenate, and come back strong for the new year. Wishing you a very, very healthy, happy new year in advance. Um, and look forward to see you in the new year. Okay.
Ma'am, there is one question from our participant that how clinically or themes different between jackal, dog, and wolf?
How to clinically differentiate
Between
jackals, dogs, and wolves? This is a very, very interesting question, but very difficult to answer in short. But I can tell you there are many ways to differentiate this. One is just the level of development is completely different. Okay. So for example, I mentioned in my candidate themes section, when we started, that wolves, they are the advisors of the king. They are much more developed. They have row 6 themes. Okay. So they are much more developed. The idea is not about less lack of confidence. The idea in the case is about strategy, about confidence, about ambition. Have you seen the movie Wolves of what is that? Leonardo DiCaprio movie, no? Something to do with this the entire group, they go into the stock market and they are like really like wolves. It's completely different picture. It's about group strategy, ambition, leadership, those kind of quality. It's much more developed. Yeah. But like can much less developed. Row 3 life, natrum line issue, completely their life issues is completely about family. My husband is not giving me not looking at me. He has an extramarital affair. My friends ignored me. My mother-in-law. Completely different thing. Yeah. So like that again, if you look at the detail, we have some roughly, I think 15, 16 sessions just on mammals, where each of these groups have been studied with so many cases. Please go to that. That is going to do justice. Okay. Wolf of Wall Street. Thank you, Athena. That's right. Wolf of Wall Street. Watch that movie and watch this movie that I told you, Hakiko. Completely different idea. Hmm? Anything else before we close? I saw Kushala. Kushala, you wanted to say anything?
No, I just got late from the clinic. I'm sorry I joined so late. Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to see the names of the remedies. I can pull that up quickly. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Where is it here?
That one, yes.
there is one more question.
Mm-hmm.
How to differentiate natrum with Lac Canium?
Prajakta, you want to answer that question?
Okay, so with natrum, the first important differentiation would be at the level of kingdom. So it is a remedy from the mineral kingdom. Okay, and animal kingdom, especially the mammals, will have natrum marine themes, but it will not be just the identity, love, care, nourishment of periodic row 3 in Lac Can. Okay, so Lac Can, it will be much more than this. In natrum, it will be only related to the identity and the nourishment and the love care that is required. Also the dependency of it, complete dependency. And there will be themes of mineral themes, will be more prominent, which we have seen in the cases. But in Lac Can, it will be more complex. plus additional themes of mammals, additional themes of the canids, the predator themes, and a domestic dog. So, of course, there will be some similarities, but there will be another differences which you will be able to follow as per the case. Because I think that case described most of the themes of Lac Can and this natrum as a remedy. So I think clinically also you'll be able to differentiate with these themes. Yeah.
So the common idea is infancy line of development, but it's like comparing oranges and apples, completely different. All right, then. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. See you in 2025. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.